Hi, it's Celeste, your canary in the coal mine. Today I wanted to talk to you about lab tests. I know most of us go to our doctors and the doctors choose which tests to give us. But it's really, if you're kind of a do-it-yourselfer like I am, it actually would help you if you kind of knew a little bit more about reading your own blood tests and getting your own blood tests. For example, most of us know approximately what our cholesterol number should be. Most of us know approximately what our blood glucose level number should be. And there's a few other numbers that you might already have learned what your number should be. Well, unfortunately, when you go to the doctor, in order to have those tests paid for by your health insurance, and in order for the doctor not to be dinged for ordering too many tests, the doctor has to have a justification for why they are ordering this test. And sometimes they can't really justify it. It may have been that you had the test done more recently than your insurance allows you to do it. It may be that it's a test that's a little unusual, not normally ordered. For example, I went into my doctor about a year ago and I said that I wanted my vitamin D levels to be checked. It was the end of summer and I'd been out in the sun a lot, and I wanted to see what is the level of vitamin D that I have in my body when I've had a good healthy summer worth of sun. Now that I'm heading into winter, I wanted to be able to take the vitamin D capsules to keep it at that healthy summer level. And so I wanted to get a vitamin D check like in September, and I was going to do it again like in March after I'd been taking supplements all winter to see if I had kept it at the same level. And the doctor really couldn't justify why we would do a vitamin D test. We finally figured out a way to justify it because we could look at my bones and say, oh, well, let's check the vitamin D levels to see if my bone health is good. But you can't always get your doctor to go along with some tests that you might have heard of that are good. So recently, there are several companies available on the internet that you can actually order your own lab work. And they often have sales, and so I've used those a couple times in the last year or two, and I've really appreciated the results. I thought even though I had to pay for all the tests, I got so much more information, which I of course have to learn how to understand. But you can also, the next time you go to see your doctor, you could bring the lab results in with you, make a copy for the doctor. They'll probably be thrilled. And because even they feel hampered by the insurance restrictions of what they can order and what they can't order. So one of the places I've used a couple times is a place called Walk-In Labs, all one word, walkinlabs.com. It's an internet site. You go on there, you look through all the packages of tests they have because they put them together in clusters, like they might have an anti-aging cluster, or they might have a women's health check cluster, or different clusterings of tests. And they sometimes run sales so that, like one time I needed some, I forget exactly which tests that I needed, but then I saw it in one of these clusters and it was only $99 on sale. And it was normally like $250. And a nurse that I know looked over all the different tests that they were going to run for that $99, and she says, well, if you ordered each one of these individually, this would be like $1,200 of lab work. And I don't know about you, but even though I have pretty good health insurance, by the time I pay all the co-pays on various tests, the last time I needed a bunch of lab work, it cost me $60 anyway in co-pays. And here for $100, I was getting way more tests, including the ones I needed. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. So the website is walkinlabs.com. And another way that you can order your own blood work is a friend of mine forwards this magazine to me each time she gets it. It's called Life Extension. I think it's a free magazine. Don't quote me on that. That they just are using this as a way to advertise their products because they sell a whole bunch of vitamins and supplements. But I enjoy the magazine because it has some really good articles in it. And I was reading the most recent issue, and sure enough, here's an advertising page about a homocysteine test. Now, some of you might be familiar with homocysteine is something that levels rise in your blood, and elevated levels are associated with heart attack risks, stroke, and dementia. And so it's important to know what your homocysteine level is and to keep it down. And you can keep it down with vitamin B supplements and other things. So they're having a sale. It says until August 31st, you can get the homocysteine test and that typical panel of 25 that is almost always included in blood work, and your blood sugar level, and so maybe you don't know what a lot of these things are. Oh, and your cholesterol test. So you get the complete lipid panel, the cholesterol test, the glucose test, the homocysteine test, and all those other things that are always, we always kind of scratch our heads like, what are those things? And your blood cell counts and everything for $54. I mean, to me, I don't like it that my insurance doesn't cover all the things that I would like to do to keep healthy. And I've come to grips many years ago with the idea that I have to pay to be healthy, that the normal insurance coverage is only after you develop the disease. And even then, it doesn't cover everything. So I just want to tell you about those two things. So this one is lifeextension.com. is this company, and so what you do is you go onto their website and you pick the test that you want, and they have somebody who's a doctor in their office write an order, and you go down to a local blood lab that it is one of their approved labs, and you just get a draw of the blood labs in my area. I have one a couple miles from my house that's one of their approved sites. And you just go down there with that order, and you've paid for it to this company or to Walk-In Labs, and you just go down there with the order, and you make an appointment or you don't make an appointment, and hand it over, and they do the draw, and they send it off, and then this company within a day or maybe even less puts your results up for you on a secure website, so that you then go to the website and you can download the results and print it out and take it to your doctor. Or you can learn how to read more of the numbers on the chart, or you can just look at the numbers you're interested in. But I just wanted you to have that as a resource, because I think a lot of us, as we get more and more interested in being responsible for our own health care, it's really useful to have a way to get your own blood tests when, for one reason or another, you can't get your doctor to do the lab work that you would like to see, because maybe you've been reading articles that says that you'd like to be able to look at certain numbers, like my vitamin D level, for example, and yet in the normal course of the 7-minute appointment with your doctor, they can't justify it. So anyway, that's my little health tip for today, and I want you to get well and stay well. Thanks.